Hey Bookish Rebels, welcome back to the Rebel Spirit Collective, where we celebrate creativity, individuality, and of course all things book. So February is fast approaching, so I am going to be doing my February TBR, and of course I am going to be diving into Black History Month, so all of my authors are going to be African American authors. I am also not missing the fact that this is going to be the month of love as well. So there will be some romance kind of sprinkled into my picks as well. So there is going to be a little bit of everything on my list. So let's jump in and talk about what I will be reading for February. All right, before we get started with the books, I do want to say that I did pick up myself a Kindle e-reader. I did not pick up the Paperwhite. I did not pick up the Color Soft. Those were a little bit more than what I wanted to spend. So what I did just pick up was just the basic Kindle e-reader. I did sort of decorate it, well, completely decorated it. I even got my own screensaver. This book may cause an increased heart rate and vivid dreams. So yes, and we have little cherries on the bottom. So we did get the Kindle e-reader. I made my own skin. Very simple template I got from Etsy. I already had some. I used removable Cricut vinyl. It's a little thin, so I'm going to play around with sort of printable vinyl and see what I can find and kind of switch this up, but it'll be after February. So this is my Kindle. I just wanted to share that with you all, and we're going to jump into the books. So the first book that I am going to be reading in February is called The Attic Child, and that is by Lola J. Lola J is an author, of course. She is a psychotherapist and she's also a speaker. I believe that this is her first book. I'm kind of looking at her website. And then she has a book coming out called The Manual for Good Wives. I think this is going to be fiction. She is a psychotherapist though, but this book is from two separate decades, and it is two children trapped in the same attic almost a century apart, bound by a secret. 1907, 12-year-old Celestine spends most of his time locked in an attic room of a large house by the sea, taken from his homeland and treated as an unpaid servant. He dreams of his family back home, even if he struggles to remember his mother's face and sometimes her real name. Decades later, Laura, a young orphan girl born into wealth and privilege, will find herself banished to the same attic. Lying under the floorboards of the room is an old porcelain doll, an unusual beaded claw necklace, and a sentence etched in the wall behind an old cupboard, written in an like I read but I can't read right now, written in an unidentifiable language. Artifacts that will offer Laura a strange kind of comfort and lead her to believe that she is not the first child to be imprisoned here. So I'm very interested to find out what the secret is, why these children are being banished to this attic. So cannot wait to jump into this. The next book that I pulled out for the month, so I feel like my books, the goals are lofty, but I am actually on book number 7 for January, so I may be able to do these books that I pulled. So this one is by Tanana Reeve Dew, and this one is called The Reformatory. And this one is, I think, horror. It just says fiction, but she does a lot of horror mixed with like historical fiction. This one says Gracetown, Florida, June 1950. 12-year-old Robbie Stevens Jr. is sentenced to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys, an institution, for kicking the son of the largest landowner in town in defense of his older sister Gloria. So begins Robbie's journey further into the terrors of the Jim Crow South and the very real horror of the school they call the reformatory. Robbie has a talent for seeing ghosts or haints, but what was once a comfort to him after the loss of his mother has become a window into the truth of what happens at the reformatory. Boys forced to work to remediate their so-called crimes have gone missing, but the haints Robbie sees hints at worse things. Through his friends, Redbone and Blue, Robbie is learning not just the rules, but how to survive. Meanwhile, Gloria is rallying every family member and connection in Florida to find a way to get Robbie out before it's too late. It says the reformatory is a hallucinatory, haunting, terrifying, and moving work of historical fiction, written as only an award-winning author, Tanana Reid could. By piecing together the life of the relative her family never spoke of and bringing his tragedy and those of so many others at the infamous Dozier School for Boys to light in this riveting novel. So it almost sounds like this is going to be based on some kind of truth, so I cannot wait to jump into this. This one is a little bit chunky. I believe there's like 560 something pages, 565 pages to the story. The next one is going to be my romance, and I think this one is kind of spicy. This is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. She seems to be a crowd favorite. My sister recommended her to me, so I just grabbed one of her books, and this is my first book of hers that I will be reading. This one says it's a scorching novel about hope and healing and what it truly means to love for a lifetime from a powerhouse writer. Oh, and that's what she looks like. If you can see her face, that is Kennedy Ryan. This says their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah Wade found that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she's finally starting to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good until old wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever, or could they even be better the second time around? Spicy for Valentine's Day. And then I have the book The Spite House by Johnny Compton, and this is horror. This is a best horror book of 2023 by Esquire. I ran across someone talking about this, I believe, here on YouTube, and it sounded interesting, so I wanted to read it. And this one says, Eric Cross is on the run from a mysterious past with his 2 daughters in tow. When he comes across a strange ad for the Mason house in Degener, Degener, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Texas, Eric thinks they may have finally caught a lucky break. The most haunted place in Texas needs a caretaker. All they need to do is stay in the house and keep a detailed record of everything that happens there, provided the house's horrors don't drive them all mad like the caretakers before them. The job calls to Eric not just because there's a huge potential payout, but because he needs access to the secrets of the Spite House. If it is indeed haunted, maybe it will help him understand the uncanny power that clings to his family, driving them from town to town, too afraid to stop running. So, yes, we're going to read The Spite House. This is one of my smaller books, as in there is only 260 pages. So that will make up for that thick reformatory book. And then I have one more book, and I actually saw somebody talking about this on TikTok, and they weren't even, I don't think, really talking about books, because I wasn't on Book Talk. I wasn't watching Book Talk videos. I was watching like either spooky or spiritual videos, and he just happened to mention that he was reading this book, and this book is actually based on a story called On the Road, a short story called On the Road, and this is called After the Rain by Nnedi Okorafor, and hope I'm not mispronouncing her name. She's actually the person who wrote the original short story, and this book was written by John Jennings, and it was illustrated by David Brame. And this is actually a graphic novel, so I will just kind of flip through that really quickly. And the way he described it sucked me right in, and I knew that I wanted to read it. Have never read a graphic novel before, but I wanted to give this one a read. This one says, After the Rain is a graphic novel adaptation of Nnedi Okorafor's On the Road, which appeared in her collection of short stories Kabu Kabu in 2013. After the Rain is the story of Chioma, a young Nigerian American woman who has a dark secret and mysterious destiny that are brought to bear while visiting her grandmother in Nigeria. Chioma's interaction with ancient ancestral spirits during an uncanny rainstorm set her upon a dangerous path that will lead her to a discovery that will change her world forever. It all starts with an impossible boy who shouldn't be alive. His touch activates a series of events that pull Chioma deeper into the spirit world that is right under the skin of reality. Little by little, ancient powers that she never knew existed show her more and more about herself and her culture. Everything Chioma holds dear will be challenged. Family, morality, justice, even her own sanity will be put to the test in each panel of this riveting illustrated tale. So, yeah, I can't wait to get into this. That is it. These are my choices for February, my TBR for February. So hopefully we can get through these. I am looking forward to reading each and every one of them. And that is it. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I do want to say, all of these books I got from Amazon. So if you are looking for any of them, even that graphic novel, Amazon. But again, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share my video with your friends, families, lovers, enemies, friends, and enemies to lovers, whatever, whoever you want to share it with, please share. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.